Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about how your body works differently. Now, I talk a lot about this through my Instagram feeds, through pretty much anything I've ever said with my programs being individualized and things like that. The purpose behind that is that literally everybody's body does everything differently. Um, some people can handle lactose, some people can handle full milk, it doesn't matter what. Some people can't handle soy, some people can't handle almond milk. Um, there's different types of processing, there's different types of fat content that people's bodies can be sensitive to. And I think it's really important to be able to listen and acknowledge that for yourself in order to advance in anything, your fitness goals, your nutrient goals, anything that you might be having trouble with. And that's something that I specialize in. That's something that I can help you out. I don't often recommend elimination diets or anything like that, but if it comes down to it and that's what you need, we can work that out in a safe environment where it will be nice and healthy for you. Um, with nutrition, it can be incredibly frustrating to hear that you're wrong. And the thing is, whether you think you have a sensitivity to something or you think you're allergic to something, testing is a great way to figure that out, but it's not always 100%. They have no exact tests to gauge your sensitivity. Obviously, if it's in like the upper extremes, there is, but not if it's just something that could be remedial. Like, oh, you get I don't know, you get a stuffy nose from after you eat ice cream or something like that. Just an easy example for something that usually affects people. But it can literally be anything. You can have sensitivities to certain spices. You can have sensitivities to certain fruits or vegetables or whatever. And it all is how about your body breaks things down. Some people need more fatty foods for their body to process them correctly. Some people need more acidic foods. Some people aren't bothered by processed foods, although I highly advise against it in any situation. And you might actually find that it's not what you thought it was. When you take a good solid look at your nutrition and what you're eating, sometimes even the environments that you're eating in, sometimes it's the level of stress in the environment that you're eating in or drinking in or experiencing these reactions. There's a lot of mental and physical things that are involved with the process, and you can be allergic to anything. You may not notice a sensitivity when you inhale allergens, for example, as opposed to when you're eating and you're exposed to those and you're introducing another combination of food that may not or may make your body work a little bit harder to process that food. Now it's taking the attention off of fighting the allergens and processing the food instead. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go with this situation. But I think it's important to, if it's interfering with your life, it's important to take a step back and really try to figure it out. Try to figure out what could be happening, and that's often why I introduce food journals to my clients. It drives people crazy having to write down their situations and what they're eating, when they're eating. But if you have sensitivities like these may help you identify them, whether they're mental, physical, or whether there's something that tests can't figure out. Um, I have a sensitivity to milk, and come to find out that it's not the milk that I have a sensitivity to. It's not the fat content that I have a sensitivity to, or the lactose or anything like that, because it's the actual processing of the milk. I tend to stick to organic milks and almond milks because soy irritates my stomach. Whole fat milk and sometimes 2%, sometimes 1% irritate my stomach as well. And the level of irritation goes down with how much processing is involved with it. I figured this out because I tried non-fat milk. I've tried, like I said, 1%, 2% milk. I tried different, I tried half fat milk, like stuff like that. I've tried soy. I've tried lactose pills. I've tried lactose things that you can ingest to help out with that. And I tried just having these also on probiotics or prebiotics, and none of that seemed to work well. What did work was cutting out processed milk. And I thought that was interesting because I was having a reaction as though I was lactose intolerant. And it was, interfering with my lifestyle. Like, that's how bad it was. So I tend to do this with myself a lot because there's been a lot of foods that I can't break down that I should use. And it's important to figure those foods out because I need those nutrients. All types of beans and legumes, for example, I have a really hard time breaking down in my body. And it's an effect that lasts for days afterwards. And it's nothing with being allergic to it. I can handle them. I can eat them without a problem. It's literally just the digestion process. And no matter what I've used to facilitate that, I've tried putting them with acidic foods. I've tried putting them with, non-acidic, more fatty foods, or, a healthier source of fat, and things like that. And it just didn't make a difference. Either way, I deemed that it wasn't that important to my diet to keep including them if it was interfering with my lifestyle so much. But there are alternate sources for the nutrients that you can get, whether or not I always recommend food first, but sometimes you may have to get it in a naturally derived form. You can find plenty of organic vitamins and nutrients and minerals in pill or liquid form. Sometimes powders have the nutrients in them, and that seems to work for me. So I know right there it's something else within the beans that I'm allergic to, or the legumes that I'm allergic to, and not necessarily, or not allergic to, sensitive to, that you wouldn't really notice on a test because it seems like an average reaction to some degree, except for what I feel internally, like with my stomach in such pain that I can't move, I find it interesting how, just to switch gears, I find it interesting to how people say, oh, this 30-day fix for me worked for me, it'll work for you. Or this, lose 20 pounds in 20 days work for me, it'll work for you. Nothing ever works for me. And, that's the famous line that's used. And it's so tempting, especially for those who are desperate in these situations or feel like nothing ever works for them. It's so tempting to want to give into that. Thing is with these that you have to look at it from more of a holistic point of view, where it's not just, it could be your stress level affecting everything else. Stressing, it induces so many hormones in your body and processes, and it causes a whole lot of issues in general. So you might notice that you're more sensitive to things when you're in a stressful situation than when you're not. Or, you could experience vice versa. It's a weird concept, but it's something that we really need to take seriously because every single person out there is different. Like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, that's one reason why my program works, because it's not my program. It's a program that I come up with specifically with you, for you, taking all this information into account. Well, when do you notice this discomfort? When do you notice this and that? Is there anything else? We talk about these things and we really go hard on figuring them out. And that's why it's not a 6-day fix or a 7-day fix or any of those short-term programs, because it's really getting to the meat of the problem and finding what the issue is. I think that's really important. So if you guys want to know more, if you want to read any of my blog posts, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to sign up for my services or a free consultation, check out my website. You can always email me and just hit me up and say, hey, I'm just interested to find out more. We'll schedule a call. We'll talk about it. It'll be free, no strings attached, and we'll see if it's the right fit for you to achieve your goals. Thanks, guys.